Okay guys, in this video I am going to demonstrate how you create a task, edit a task, and you pull work into a current active sprint. So to create a task, it's very simple. There's this giant button up here that says create. You can click on that and it will pull up the create task dialog. In this dialog you can select what sort of issue type it is. We're just going to say, hey, this one is a story, right? You can give a quick summary. Any description that you need, you'll want to tie it to a fixed version. So if this was part of our alpha, if this work was related to our alpha release, I'd select that. I'd also, if it's, let's say it's tied to question banks, creation, great, we tie it there as well. And then you can obviously move it into a current sprint if kind of you and the team have agreed that that's the right thing to do. Or you can put it into the groomed bucket, or just throw it into backlog. You can just even leave it blank. You have to assign it a team. So I'm on Team Helix, so I'm going to assign it that. And then I've talked to my co-workers, and we all agree that this is like a 2-point story. So those are kind of the basic minimums that you'll want to provide. Let's say we might even want to assign it to myself, right? There we go, done that. So really easy to create an issue. One thing to note up here, here's a configure fields panel. Jira provides you a lot of different fields. We don't use all of them, so what you can do is you can go in here and you can click on custom and select just the fields that you want to see. These are the ones I use. You don't have to use them as well, but like if you want to clean up this interface and just have very few things to worry about, that's what I would suggest to put in there. So once I provided all the information, I can go ahead and click on create. I'm not going to do that here because I don't want to add stuff into this board, but really easily. Also, and you can do that from the active sprint view. You can also obviously do it from the backlog view here. Again, create, I can just fill out the information here and I'm done. So that's really how to create a ticket in Jira. Let's say I want to edit a ticket. Again, I can do this from either view. I can do it either in the backlog view or the active sprint view. To do that, all I need to do is click on the ticket itself, the backlog item, and go up here to edit. And again, I can go through here and adjust stuff as I need to, right, and save it off. Again, I'm not gonna, this is actually like real stuff, so I'm not gonna mess around with it, but that's how you do it there. Again, you can do the same thing in this view. If you need to add a few extra details to this, you can edit. You can even edit in line if you want to here in this quick details view, or you can again click on 3-dot menu, click on edit, and it'll pull up the edit prompt. So, and again, this quick details view is, it's actionable from either view, either from the backlog view or from, so if I wanted to change like what version it was in, I could do that and save that off. Not going to, again, this is live stuff. So that's how you can edit a task in Jira. Now, typically what happens sometimes in a sprint, right, you're working along, you finish up all your tasks, and you need to find something new to work on, or you have you found out like a ticket that you're working on, actually there's a lot more work that's involved there, and so instead of like trying to cram it all into one ticket and one commit, what you want to do is break that apart. So I'm going to show you how to pull work into a sprint. So let's say I was working on this ticket here, the save current agenda, and I found there's more work. Again, from here I can just click on create. I give it a summary description. The thing that you want to pay attention to is just this field in Jira, active sprint. So I just want to add it since I'm on the Helix team. That's the current active sprint. I would just want to make sure that's selected. It'll give me this little warning saying, hey, sprint scope will be affected by this action. that should be a reminder to you that you should have at this point already kind of talked to the product manager and the team about what you're doing here and why this work is necessary to bring in the sprint. But that's all that is, and then again you would just click on create, and it would actually, if I were to click on create, it'll actually pull that ticket right into the sprint, put it in the to-do column. You'd end up finding it down at the bottom of the to-do column here. So you can do it from the active, from the sprint board. Also, you really can do it from here as well. Again, I could click on, go and create an item here. Same thing. The big key point here is if I want it to show up on the board, on the work board, I just need to select the right active sprint, and again, it'll tell me the scope will be affected by this action. So that's one way to bring work in. There's another way. So let's say, that's the case when I'm working on something and I notice, oh gosh, there's a lot more work here that I didn't think of, or I just discovered stuff and I need to generate a few more tickets to capture that work. Let's go with the other scenario where I've been developing, I've got all my tasks done, I ran out of work, and gosh, I know there's a lot of good things in the groomed backlog that are ready to go, and so I'd just simply go and find that ticket, and I can just drag and drop it up into the current sprint. There we go. Again, it will tell you sprint scope will be affected by this action. Again, reminding you that you should have talked to your product manager and the team, and you guys should all be in agreement that yes, this is the most important pressing thing that I should be working on or pulling in the sprint. So it's just kind of reminding you that. Again, I won't pull that in, but once you do that, it would drop it right into this bucket, and then if you were to go into the sprint board, you'd actually be able to see that ticket in there. I'll just show you that real quick, just so I know you believe me. But here we go, right? Sprint scope will be affected. Okay, that's all right, because I talked to my team and everything. Again, now I pop in here, and there it is. There's the item that we just pulled in. I'm actually going to remove this from the sprint, so I can remove it here. I'm just going to do it this way too. I'm just going to pull it down here, just pull it back down into our green bucket. Again, says, hey, your scope's going to be affected because we're pulling stuff out, which makes total sense. Anyways, and that's that. So that's how to create a task, edit a task, and pull work into a sprint.